Gracias, Serenidad. Heroes is back to do kind of a quick-ish update on my health, my grandparents' health, and a couple things that have gone on. So, health-wise, for me, the main issue that I'm struggling with right now is allergies and persistent nausea. But I think that's indigestion, to be honest. As far as my grandparents' health are, my grandfather's about the same. He, just does what he can on a daily basis, and we try to help him with whatever else he can do. So he's doing about the same. Grandma had surgery done on her foot not that long ago. She had metal in her toes that was supposed to straighten her toes. She had this done years ago. And it turns out that those metal pieces were rusting and causing infections, so those had to be removed. So, but she's recovered well and, is doing well from that, which is good. The main thing I wanted to talk about was an uncle, aunt, and cousin of mine. I'm not giving any names to respect my family's privacy. I'm not giving any names. But I've had an aunt and a cousin have COVID. They recover, then my uncle got COVID. He recovers, then my aunt and cousin get it again. And they're starting to get to the point where they're recovering, but then my uncle got a different strand of it. I'm just sitting here going, what in the world? So both Grandma and I were like, yeah, they need to quarantine away from themselves so that they can't pass it on. Because it's just going to keep going back from one person to the other at this rate. Not to mention, I've had two other cousins have it who are actually siblings of the first cousin that I talked about. And it's just nuts. Not to mention they've had, well, I guess for them it would be their granddaughters, but for me it would be like third cousins. Anyway, one of my cousins, he has two daughters, and is actually the son of the uncle that I'm talking about. And he took them over there one day, not too long ago, before my aunt and cousin found out that they had gotten COVID a second time. I'm sitting here going, you don't need to be bringing children into this place. Obviously there's something going on. I know you want them to see family, but if they're sick, they're sick. They can't be around them if they have COVID. You know what I mean? But like I said, at least my aunt and cousin are slowly starting to come around, which is nice. And going on a different branch of topic, because this is how my brain works. I apologize that there was that 1 week of nothing but Let's Play content. I planned it that way because John was coming for a week. It was like a late birthday. So I wanted to have the videos that I had scheduled fall on a week, and it just so happened that the ones I had scheduled were all Let's Play videos. So unintentional, but I thought I would just do it that way. I know some of you guys like the Let's Play stuff, a lot of you guys don't, and I respect that. I mean, to each their own. This is just something that I've started doing that I wanted to do. So, I mean, and if it picks up, great. If not, well, it's what it is. So, but yeah. Also, a thing that I'm having a major issue with, and I find extremely annoying, the postal service in the US. I was expecting 2 packages to come in the mail, and I contacted the people through Instagram and asked if they've they've sent it out, and they said they did, and I would check back literally like a month and a half, 2 months later, still nothing. And I would let them know, and they said, well, we can send a complaint in with the tracking because they did tracking for it. And I said, okay. I said, because I don't have tracking, I can't, because they never gave me the tracking number. I said, I can't check on it and see where it is. So that's why it would be nice if you guys could do it. So it's turned into like this big old spiel. I was expecting 2 Super Junior notebooks that I was actually really, really excited for. They have been lost in the mail. I've had, I think it was a Sulky photo card. Pretty sure it was Sulky. I'm supposed to have one of her photo cards come in the mail, and it's bad. I don't know. I know it's because of the election and the mail-in ballots and everything, but there are other people that are wanting to get their mail, not just having their ballots go through. You know what I mean? So that's just been annoying, unfortunately. I wish that I could go down to the post office and explain, hey, I was supposed to get this package, I didn't get it, can you guys help me figure out where it is? But because of COVID and my low immune system, it's not the best idea for me to be out at the moment. So, yeah, that stinks. So, crossing my fingers they'll get here eventually. I'm also expecting, there's a friend of mine that lives in California, and anytime I find Super Junior stuff that requires PayPal, I ask her, hey, if I send you the money, will you send out the PayPal amount to this person so she can send it our way? And she did that recently with 2 Super Junior big photos. It was an Itok and a Shindong. I told them they could keep the Shindong because I only wanted Itok because he's the main one that I collect. Leader bias is true, as always. Anyway. But I said, you know what, I really wanted Itok, but I didn't have the money for it, but I put enough in there for me to get Itok and for you to get Shindong if you wanted Shindong. And they said, okay, we'll do it that way. And she received the money from me, but the person that mailed it out, it's taken a long time to get here in the States, and I'm just sitting here going, why is mail all of a sudden, and again, I know it's because of the ballots and everything, but surely COVID can't have made mail this slow. And it's possible that it has. I've heard recently the cases have gone up again, which typically means that college kids are being dumb. I'm saying it that way because a lot of the times I see college kids going to these parties with these massive groups of people not wearing a mask, or they drink till they're to the point where they can barely walk, and then they will literally wake up feeling like they're hungover in addition to COVID symptoms. And I'm just sitting here going, you guys don't need to be out there. If you're going to be out there, at least wear a freaking mask. But I can't control college kids. I mean, I'm 28. Even in college, when I was in college, I didn't, even if I could have, I wouldn't have drank because the smell of alcohol just, it gets to my nose. It just does. So I feel like part of the reason the mail has been sluggish is because of COVID, which stinks. We did have one package come in. John and I, he ordered these for me on Instagram. They were basically Animal Crossing amiibo cards that this particular person makes on Instagram, and they work. She does scan them, make sure they work. And the 3 that I picked were Sky, Bianca, and Poppy. Which Poppy just makes me think of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Different spelling. Anyway. And then John's were Marshall. His, oh god, it's above me. His were person that supposed to get a package from just sent proof that they sent it out. That's nice. John's were Marshall, Coco, and Whitney. Those were his 3. Okay, so I know he originally picked Sherb, and she didn't have a shirt. So it was Coco, Whitney, and Marshall. And I'm genuinely surprised that she had a Marshall, to be honest, because how popular he is. Just given the fact that so many people want him, I'm genuinely surprised that she still had stock of him. These allergies are bad. So, I got those 3, he got those. It was $24 for the 6, which is not bad. Because there are some places I know that charge a massive rip for these amiibo cards. Giving an example, and this is something that John saw, it is not something that I saw. He said he looked on eBay for a Marshall card. They were charging like $300 for it. And the fact that people are that desperate to actually pay that is ridiculous. I'm just sitting here going, if you know a friend that has Marshall, just, ask them, hey, I know you have Marshall, if he ever asks to move out, can I have him? That way you can still see him. Because that's what me and John did. He had Zucker, who's one of the octopus. He had Zucker. And I really, really loved Zucker a lot. And I grew to love his personality. It reminds me a lot of Bo, actually, which makes sense because they're both lazy, but villager type lazy. But he said one day, Zucker's wanting to move. Do you have a free slot for him? And I actually did that day. So I went over to his village and, I spoke with Zucker and he said he would move to my island. And now my fiance can see Zucker when he wants to. And it's the same Zucker that still recognizes him. So then there was also that random chance one where I started with Sprocket, which I like Sprocket. Getting that out of the way. I started with Sprocket. He asked if he wanted to move. I told him he could move, and I let him go. And funnily enough, my fiance found Sprocket, and it was the same Sprocket that recognized me. Now, he found him on an island tour. I didn't have him come to my island and get Sprocket. He found him. So the fact that it was still the same one that recognized me is nuts. I was so shocked by that. Like, surely that doesn't happen all the time. But anyway. So yeah, there's a few things. Obviously, the main thing I wanted to say is prayers for my aunt, uncle, and cousins, because they're dealing with a lot right now, even if some of them are up on the mend. That can all change briefly. So, but yeah, I hope to be making more videos for you guys soon. Things are still kind of nuts, so I apologize that the schedule is kind of haywire, but hopefully you understand. And I will talk to you guys soon in another video, another time. Bye, Roses. Annyeong.